Today's video is actually by request. My mom came to me and said, "Hey Darby, you know what I think you should do on YouTube this week?" And I said, "What?" She said, "Darby, I think you should make homemade pickled jalapenos." Now I'll tell you the truth. She does not care whether or not I record this and put this on the internet. She just wants me to make pickled jalapenos. But I'm gonna do it. This one's for you, Mom. We are actually growing jalapenos in our garden for the first time ever this year, so we're gonna go harvest them fresh, and I'm gonna give you a little garden tour while we're out there. To the garden! For as long as I can remember, my mom has always wanted a garden, so a few years ago for her birthday, I got a group of us together and we built these raised garden beds for her. I know it's kind of a weird birthday gift, but her love language is acts of service, so I promise it makes sense, and I promise she loves it. We grow mostly tomatoes and herbs, but there is our prized first year jalapeno plant. Look how cute they are! And I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of these right now for us. We have our little jalapeno harvest. Let's go pickle them. I'm just gonna go ahead and give my jalapenos a quick wash in cold water. Okay, perfect. Next, we're going to chop our jalapenos into thin slices. This does not need to be an exact science. If you are someone who touches your face a lot, I would suggest you wear gloves because it can be pretty painful. I've gotten jalapeno juice in my eye once or twice, not even touching them with it squirting into my eye, and 0 out of 10, would not recommend. So take precautions. These actually smell really good. These are definitely going to be the freshest jalapenos I've ever had, so it'll be interesting to see how it affects the spice level even once they're pickled. The only thing I'm getting rid of is the stems on these. The seeds can absolutely stay in pickled. I like a little bit of spice, so it doesn't bother me. I don't know if I would quite call this a recipe, more of an experiment since I've never pickled anything, but I will tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And then when we finally try them, I will give you a little update, give you a little review on a future video when we finally get to crack into these. I did a little research online, and from what I can tell, you can have these as quick as 1 to 2 hours after you pickle them. I think you probably get the best results if you wait longer, but we may be impatient and try some with dinner tonight. I'll let you know. There are a lot of methods for pickling, and you can even use a method that speeds up the pickling process where you dump your ingredients into the warm brine while it's on the stove still. But I'm not following that method, so as soon as these are done being chopped up, I'm just gonna go ahead and load them right into the jar. From the limited research I've done on pickling, the general consensus seems to be 2 parts vinegar to 1 part water. So I'm doing 2 cups of vinegar, 1 cup of water, and I'm gonna mix my vinegars, partly because I have a limited amount of white distilled vinegar left, and partly because I read somewhere that apple cider vinegar gives it a nice depth of flavor. So we're gonna do 1 cup of distilled and 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then 1 cup of water. Next, I'm gonna add equal parts of salt and sugar to balance the flavor. For this recipe, I'm using about a tablespoon of each, but not an exact measurement. This is just plain white granulated sugar, and you can use any kind of salt you like, but my preference is to use sea salt whenever possible. Now that is all you technically need for a pickling liquid. You can go ahead and start cooking that on the stove if you'd like. I'm gonna add some extra things to it. This is what I think is gonna be so fun about learning to pickle and this pickling journey we're going on, is that once you have this pickling liquid, you can add as many extras as you'd like or as little as you'd like. For these pickled jalapenos, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple because I want the jalapeno flavor to shine, but I am gonna add some whole cloves of garlic and some minced onion. Partly because I just love both of those flavors, and partly because I looked at the ingredients on the jar of pickled jalapenos in my fridge, and it has both of those in the ingredients. So we're gonna add those in, and then we're gonna get this cooking on the stove. This is not an exact measurement. This is me measuring to what I think my family's taste level is and our preference for that. But you know I love anything where you can say, just measure with your heart. I'm not gonna chop up these garlic cloves, I'm gonna leave them whole, but I am obviously going to peel them. I'm putting 4 cloves of garlic in mine because that's what I have left in the house, but feel free to add as much or as little garlic as your heart desires. All right, let's get this cooking on the stove. I actually have no idea how long I'm supposed to cook this for, but I'm gonna aim for a boil just to make sure all those coarse salt crystals that I added are fully dissolved. I think our pickling liquid is ready. I let it simmer on medium heat for a little while, slowly, and then brought it up to high just to bring it to a boil. And then I took it off the heat and I'm just stirring around to make sure I can't feel any sugar or salt at the bottom of the pan. Nope, we're all good. Now I'm a little too klutzy to just start pouring hot liquids everywhere. So I think I'm gonna try to ladle some off the top and into the jar first, and we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try to get the garlic cloves in there as well. Moment of truth. Okay, that's not so bad. I definitely think, unless you have a funnel, which I thought I had but cannot locate, I think ladling is the way to go, just for safety reasons. I know I'm supposed to leave a little room at the top, but I have a ton of pickling liquid left, so I don't, maybe a little more. Okay. I know you're supposed to leave like a ½ inch margin at the top, so I don't want to put any more of the liquid in, and I've gotten most of the dehydrated onion and all of the garlic cloves out and into the jar already. So I think maybe we'll call it there, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on and then let it come down to room temperature before I put it in the refrigerator, and that'll help with the pickling process. I think, according to the limited research I did, it will help. I definitely do have a little pickling liquid left, but I think that's okay. I think I would have rather made too much than not enough. So I'm gonna let this come to room temperature on the counter, and then we'll go ahead and refrigerate it because it is supposed to be stored in the refrigerator. But I'll come back when it's at room temperature, give you an idea of how long it sat on the counter for, and then eventually, hopefully, I'll get to give you an update once we've tried them. Our pickled jalapenos have finally come to room temperature. I let them sit on the counter for about an hour, and now they're ready to go in the fridge. I know normally I give you guys a little taste test at the end of baking and cooking videos, but I'm definitely gonna let these sit for a little while. I will, however, give you an update next week because I'm sure by then we will have tried some. Hopefully my mother likes these since she requested them. If you like this video, as always, give it a thumbs up, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!